Mesdames et messieurs distingués, my name is Emeraude Besson. Well, I also am in the Women Cant Wait. I was part of the original group il y a presque 10 ans maintenant. It was 10 years ago. Coming from France, it was my very first visit on the UN, and I am very happy to return. Of course, I noticed the decor have not changed on those 10 years, but I know you are working on that. I am a teacher, and still now, as I was then, and I spoke about a law which has now been repealed in France, but at that time it was still there on the law books. And that law, by the way, still exists in other countries also. So I want to point that. But this law, it says that women must not be allowed to work, to earn a living at night. Now that was not really enforced, but it was there on the law books on the year 2000. You know, that means, for example, I was teaching classes on the evening at that time, as I do today. And, you know, I am a very, very dedicated teacher, maybe too dedicated. If you ask my students, you know, they will always say, Madame, il faut se relâcher un peu, quoi. Colloquially, it means I should relax, I am too uptight. But I am that kind of person, you know, I do believe in the authority, the respect of the law. So, you know, that means, of course, it was a bit ridiculous that I officially, I suppose I was technically, because of my work, a lawbreaker, you know, comme une criminelle, moi. So, you know, c'est insupportable. So, you know, as I say, there are other countries where this unequal employment law still persists. I think of that as like the ABCs. You know, you have Australia, Bolivia, China, little codes here and there where they will discriminate against the women. And my favorite, the law in which the United Kingdom Royal Marines, it states their fears about having the female element within their ranks. Well, this was interesting for me because, you know, I thought, of course, the Marines, they are supposed to be fearless, but apparently countries are wasting their money on defense budget because we should just give that money to women since all you need to frighten the military is the female element. Just to come back to my own country, you know, before I could come here to celebrate France's progress since the Beijing +5, I learned of a Parisian law which makes me a criminal all over again. And I want to share with you an article, part of an article about that. So to this day, a decree banning women from wearing trousers in Paris is still technically on the books. I say that so that you know, in the city where people come from around the world to find the most fantastic trousers you could have for women, we natives are technically not allowed to partake in that sartorial splendor. Just to give you the background of that, the rule banning women from dressing like men, namely by wearing trousers, was introduced in 1800 by Paris police chief, and it has survived repeated attempts to repeal that. So the 1800 rule said that any Parisian wishing to dress like a man may present herself, or she must present herself, to Paris main police station to obtain authorization first. And I, of course, thought to myself, mon Dieu, it's not difficult enough to get dressed in the morning. Now I have to involve the police. But, you know, so I want to say that this is no laughing matter in countries where a woman's appearance really is under the government control in a way that is enforced. I will mention, for example, there are other places, but in Iran, the public requirement of the hijab covering, it is so strict that a woman who is badly veiled is technically punishable by jail time. And I was interested to know that even mannequins, the mannequin in the shop window, are not exempt from that. So I try to imagine how they can get the handcuff around those plastic wrists and get her out of there. But again, returning to my own backyard of Paris, as Evelyne Pizier, the law professor whose book Le droit des femmes, the rights of women, pointed out, I am actually in a very good criminal company in Paris, given that trousers are compulsory for Parisian policewomen. So they are all breaking the law avec moi. Bon, so I have been making a lot of jokes, but I hope that you will take that seriously, that these laws must be repealed wherever they exist, because even if it is supposedly leftover tradition of the past, that can have a terrible way of disempowering the women and therefore all the humanity of the present and the future. Okay, merci.